More Good News Season 2 is all about people doing good through following their passions, good for their own souls and for others. I'm Kate Cherichello, and welcome to today's episode. Let's spread a little more goodness in the world.
Today's guest is Heidi Saldana. I'm so excited she's with us today. I have known Heidi since, Heidi, what year did you join Skip?
Oh, I was 5. So I was born in 1995.
1995? Okay. So I've known Heidi since about 1995, and I've been in countless shows with her. And ever since she graduated from Point Park University, she moved to New York and has been traveling the country in Flashdance the musical. She was in Matilda the musical, and she's done many other shows since. And now Heidi is an Egoscue certified postural alignment specialist. And she's going to talk to us today about that. Heidi, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Katie, for having me.
So the first question, nice and easy. Who are you and what do you do in your own words?
So before I got married, my last name was Freeze. So if people don't know the name Saldana, they would maybe remember me as Freeze. So like you said, I was a performer. And then when COVID happened and no one was performing, I took that time to really come to terms with how much pain I was in, like how much physical pain I was in. And I had someone who had used this method called Egoscue recommend it to me, saying she had been in multiple car accidents and she was like, couldn't get out of bed. She was only in her mid 30s. And she said that it absolutely changed her life. And so I looked into it and I saw that it was really big in NFL and the MLB, pro golf, tennis, kind of in the pro sports world, as well as helping people like just your everyday person who's had a lot of back pain or whatnot. But that kind of sparked my interest because I now was looking at it as like, oh, this is something that not only people who sit at a desk and have pain are looking toward, it's something that pro athletes are looking toward as a way to extend their careers and help with injuries and pain. So the more I looked into it, the more I thought, well, like so many other performers, I've tried literally everything else, like the dry needling, the acupuncture, all the massage, physical therapy, every version of everything you can think of. And chiropractic too, while I always felt better with those things, I never really fully feel like I ever fully recovered. And then you do another show and then you get another injury and then it piles on from that one. And so it kind of just felt like it got away from me. And it was hard in the pandemic to keep going to the chiropractor, obviously, because everything shut down. So I said, well, I need to fix this and I need something that I can do at home that I don't have to depend on experts outside of my house to be able to help. So that's kind of where it kickstarted. And I started doing the method just by the book that the creator had written called Pain Free. And I started trying that and I started seeing some relief, so much so that I ended up diving in and deciding that I was going to become a specialist myself, because I realized after some research, no one has introduced this to the dance world. And if the NFL players are using it, and all these pro sport people are finding such great success, of course it's going to be beneficial for dancers and for people who are absolute athletes and use their body in incredible ways. So that was my journey, which started as fixing my own pain, which ended up being something that I thought I really wanted to bring to others because it was helping me so much.
Wonderful. What a journey there. And talk about taking your health into your own hands instead of just living with that pain. And Heidi, now that you are certified, then what does your day-to-day look like? Are you still on Zoom fully with clients now? Are you seeing people in person? Tell us a little more about the current.
So luckily, the method has been around for 30 years. And so in the past 10 years, they figured out a way to make it completely digital. So it was already set up to be completely doable by Zoom or they didn't at that time FaceTime or Uvu. Do you remember Uvu?
I don't think
It's
so.
like-
Is it like Skype?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, by any of those video chatting. And so because there's a software and there's also
Yes.
an app, it really wasn't a hard transition to go from in-person therapy to digital. So I took the route of being purely digital. If there's someone in my area, like, of course, it's so fun to be in person. As you know, as a trainer, like, you get to be there with them and feel their energy and see their smile in person when they're accomplishing something. But I found that as people scattered outside of the city amidst the pandemic, that I was still able to connect with everyone and didn't have to be just in my New York bubble of who I could help.
Wonderful. And you mentioned about how your world has been different since COVID and because of COVID. Is there anything that you can't wait to get back to in kind of a normal, or back to something that was before that isn't now? Or is there anything that because of COVID has changed for the better for you that you are happy to keep going moving forward?
Yeah, changed for the well, I would have probably never found this had COVID not happened, because I would have just continued with the rat race and the pushing through the pain and the go to that audition and be like peeking in the window saying, which leg? Is it going to be left or right? Like, which leg do I warm up? Because I may not be able to dance for 6 months if I don't warm up the right leg. I had constant hamstring pulls and just all those things that are always scary when you're walking into a blind audition of like, I don't really know what they're going to ask me to do. So I'm excited to go back to auditioning when the time is right, or just class, and have a different appreciation, understanding, and trust for my body, that I am not now going to be going into those situations on the brink of worry and fear that I could take a wrong step. And I now understand how resilient the body is, and that when it is breaking down and when there is pain or you are getting injured, that there's a reason, and there's also a way to walk it back, put the body back in the alignment it was meant to be in, which allows it to be strong and be able to take all of what we ask of it. So I am excited to now, after doing about a year of this method and seeing my body change, I'm excited to go back to class and, just like feel the differences. And I'll be able to enjoy dance more, because I was always worried that I was one step away from a career-ending injury. So you're kind of like, I want to go full out because I love this song and I know I'm in class and I should, but hold off just a little bit because I don't trust that hamstring today. So
Absolutely. And Heidi, you are obviously in a profession right now of all just helping people and just good news. Speaking of the whole theme of this, are there any specific, I know that your own experience, that's already a fantastic story of good news with this method. Are there any other stories you'd like to share about clients of yours or those you've read about in your training of finding this relief, success, better, alignment, all of it through your time?
yeah, so one of my old castmates in Matilda, one of the dance captains, she started just like a casual Zoom ballet when the pandemic happened. And so it was ballet bar for 3 times a week. And we thought it would be, a week of lockdown. And here we are a year later, still doing Zoom ballet. But it built this community of dancers who were also trying to take the situation in their own hands and do as much as they could in their bedroom, surrounded by whatever they were trying not to kick. And so I was able to have that group of people kind of walk through the journey with me. So I was in school when we started, and then I finished, and then, I kind of said, does anyone want to try this? And so they were kind of like my test group, and I started working with these dancers and performers who are just trying to stay fit and stay, like moving and artistic for as much as they could. And it has led me to so many ideas about where this could go. So I've had multiple people crying in relief, and not because I'm fixing them, and not necessarily because the method is great. It is, but what makes us different is you're the expert. So if you were a client of mine, we would talk about, what do you feel your body is doing? And what stretches do you like? Or what makes you wince when you see choreography because you don't trust that part of your body? And so with the client being the expert, it puts the ability for you to heal yourself and understand your body in your hands. So you're not going to a foot expert who's telling you what's wrong, but that's really it. Is they'll tell you what's wrong, but it's not really a conversation in my experience. It's the expert telling you you're the patient. Where this is, you're the expert, and I'm just helping you decode what your body is saying. And what's amazing is, like I said, it puts the power back in the client's hand, because my goal is for you not to need me. My goal is to teach you why your body does what it does, and then give you the exercises and the tools to revert and undo any problems. Because ultimately, why this method is different is no one tried to reinvent the wheel. He basically, the creator, what's the word? Reverse engineered the body. So instead of trying to figure out a way to fix symptoms or alleviate knee pain, he went more, where was the body supposed to be before you had the knee pain? So it comes from a place of, where are we supposed to have started without any muscle compensations, any deviations, any pain? And then we're able to figure out where your body is deviated. And then when a joint has moved, then other muscles come in that aren't supposed to be working. And then it's the chain reaction of every part of your body is connected. So it's incredible to see people crying, not at the amazingness of the method, but that they finally feel like they have control and that they can fix themselves and understand why. Why has that dance teacher been telling you to straighten your knees? And you're like, I can't straighten them any longer. So then through this method, they're able to say, I'm not crazy. I physically can't do that because of the position of my joints. And then when we put the joints back where they originally or meant to be, then your body is just so much freer to move the way it was supposed to. So that's probably been the most exciting thing of working with clients, is to see them take ownership over and be empowered that they are learning how to care for themselves in the longevity of their careers.
That was so beautifully worded and explained.
Thanks.
They really painted such a great picture of all of it. And Heidi, last question. Is there any mantra you find yourself telling yourself or your clients, or any quote that you love that you'd like to leave us with?
Mantra. I think we as performers become in any career really, it's very easy to become attached to what you do as your identity. And I think when the industry shut down, I think a lot of people, it wasn't just like they're losing their income or their profession, but part of their identity was also taken. And so, and that was for me too, is, I spoke to an Actors Fund dancer counselor who had talked about the mindset that many artists carry. And that's kind of ingrained like in the conservatory world of like, you are an artist if and only if you do nothing but art. So it's like this pressure to like, I'm not as full of an artist if I'm doing something else, or if I haven't been in a show in 4 years, And I think what I've discovered, and I hope through the pandemic and through this interview that I can encourage people, is that You aren't what you do. You are who you are. And for me, I am first and foremost, I believe, a child of God. And then acting and performing is what I do. And so if I change what I do, it doesn't change the value of me as a person or what I can offer someone else. So of course I want to perform again. I miss it like crazy. I know all of us miss it like crazy, but I don't feel like now, after that mental shift, I don't feel like now that I'm less of an artist because I'm approaching my art in a therapeutic way or helping people in a different way than if I was in a show. So I just hope as people, did what they had to do over the pandemic and, have side jobs and started businesses and are helping people in different way, that they're not any less valuable as an artist or just as a person.
And yes, that is such the case too. But it makes us all more well-rounded.
Yeah.
Right? If everyone has that tunnel vision of I can only do this, you're missing out on so much. So that has been a positive in this very sad time too, of people finding those different loves, passions, necessities, whatever it is. And I'm so glad you found this entire career path as well.
Yeah.
Heidi, tell everybody where we can find you online.
So if you go to www.painfreewithheidi.com, you can find me there, and I have a complimentary consultation that if you want to sign up to just talk and see if it's right for you. And yeah, I specialize in performers and dancers because that's what I do. But obviously, like I said, the method is for everyone. And if you're a human being, it's about the human body. And so it'll work for you.
Yes. Great. I mean, as a trainer, I could tell you there's so many people where it's those root causes that need to be fixed before you can do anything else. For sure. This is so needed. And yes, a lot of doctors, unfortunately, give more Band-Aids than getting to the root of it. Well, thank you. And Heidi, should we also look for you on social media?
I have it. I don't have like a specific Instagram or Facebook page for the business yet. I pretty much am just working mostly from the website, but I do just have it on my personal Instagram, just as, a post to let people know what I'm doing, but mostly through the website, I'd say.
Okay, perfect. Heidi, thank you so much.
Thank you, Katie. It was a pleasure as always.
We need all the good news we can get. This is Kate Cherichello. Please follow me at positively_Kate on Instagram for more. And if you have stories of good news that need to be shared, please do send me a message. If you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean so much if you shared it with your friends and left a review. Thank you, and see you next time.